The mountainside and morning light cast some miracle hue, sparkling sun.
Juno Award winner Laila Biali is up for a Grammy Award this year, and her fellow nominees for Traditional Pop Vocal Album are impressive. Barbra Streisand, Elton John and Brandi Carlile, Lady Gaga, Jennifer Hudson and Leve. The album for which she's nominated, Wintersongs, was written during Biali's stay at the Banff Centre. And joining me is Laila Biali. First of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Ian.
What was your response when you learned that you were in the same category as these living legends?
Well, both my husband and co-producer and I were completely shocked. In fact, we thought it was a technical error. People started texting us, and Ben, my husband, was saying, don't post, we have to verify, like check and verify. and actually for about 24 hours, we still wondered if it was a technical error because there are 6 nominees in this particular category as opposed to the usual 5. So that was a bit of a head scratcher as well.
Now, it has crossed your mind, I'm sure, that you could actually win, right?
I'll tell you, it was so absurd to me in some ways to have been nominated that while it is really, the prospect of winning is probably more absurd. I think the fact that I even got across that nominee line is so extraordinary to me. So now I'm just dreaming big, really big.
And there is a very special Alberta connection to this, in that you had a residency at the Banff Centre, and that's where you wrote this album.
Indeed. The Banff Centre has long been my creative home. I'm a busy mom and, full-time musician, host with CBC, etc. And so I need to get away from the hustle bustle in order to get creative work done. And the Banff Centre has provided me with that space for 10 years now. On and off, I've gone there to write projects, and for Wintersongs, that was the longest stretch I was given there. It was a beautiful 2 weeks at their Ian Davidson studio in the woods, looking out on the mountains, and that's how Wintersongs was born.
Now let's take a look at the cover of the album, Wintersongs. What I find really impressive about this is that you took the photo. Now, I'm pretty sure
that's the studio.
Yes, and Elton John, I assume, did not take the photo for his album, nor did Barbra Streisand. So tell us about that location.
Well, these days, artists, all of us really, but especially artists, we always need to be documenting what we're doing on social media. And it's not difficult to capture. Well, the beauty of Banff far surpasses what you can capture in a photo like that. However, everything feels and looks like a picture postcard. And so I wanted to show people what I would see every day as I walked to my studio to go about the work. And so that's what that photo is. And I sent it to my designer who did the artwork for the album. And I was shocked that she chose it, but I trust her judgment. And it's very personal. The project is personal. The photo is personal. And it's such a love letter to Canadian winter and especially the Banff Centre. So it just made sense.
Now take us inside the creation of the album, the writing of it in that cabin in Banff. What was the mood like? What was your routine like during the day?
Well, I am not someone who sleeps in the best of circumstances. And I think some people just sleep incredibly well in the mountains and others actually find their sleep disturbed. Well, for me, it was just the usual. And so I'd be waking up way before dawn and I'd make my way over to that writing cabin in the woods. And what people can't see is that once I'd get inside, there were floor to ceiling glass windows on all sides. And so I was in there, at this gorgeous rosewood Steinway piano, thank you, Banff, and the Leighton family. And so I'm sitting there, and deer are frolicking in front of me, and little martins. I didn't even know what they were. I took a photo of one and said, "What is this creature?" And someone said, "Oh, that's a martin." And then of course the mountains, and just you could see the way that winter would shapeshift too as I was writing. And so I was trying to capture the different phases I was experiencing, but all the while very, very cozy within my writing space. So fundamentally, I wanted the album to feel warm and cozy.
And also because you had a piano in this space, And you had trouble sleeping, apparently. You could play the piano at 3 in the morning and you wouldn't disturb anybody, right?
Oh yeah, they give artists access 24/7. You have to watch out for those cougar warnings. There's occasionally, really, I'm not kidding. And in fact, I don't think there was one that year, but other years there have been some warnings. So you have to be cautious and Canada-wise, as it were. But yeah, I had access anytime, undisturbed, and that's the beauty of Banff is you just get this beautiful space, kind of separate from everybody in which to create. But then over meals, you're interfacing with other artists and people from all kinds of walks of life. And that I find becomes a stimulation as well for the creative.
Now, you have quite a resume yourself. You are a Juno Award winner. And I know a few years ago, you worked with Sting on a project as well. Did working with him in a way prepare you to be in the same league as people like Barbra Streisand or Elton John?
Well, it's funny you should say that because Sting is a guest on Barbra Streisand's Grammy-nominated record. And I did text Sting once I got the nomination, and he very generously wrote back, "You've got my vote." I thought that was so generous. And so, yeah, no, I mean, again, I'm nothing but humbled to be in that company. And Sting, it was such a long time dream to work with him. And in fact, it was his winter project that I was a part of. It's called If on a Winter's Night. And I would say that the DNA of that album that he released that I was a part of kind of made its way a little bit into my own winter songs because his approach was different. It wasn't your classic seasonal release. It was a little moodier.
So take us inside Grammy weekend, or perhaps Grammy week. What are your plans, and what do you plan to wear?
Oh, great questions. So my husband and co-producer, Ben, he of course will be with me and walking the red carpet. So we'll both have to be decked out in Canadian creations, to be sure, from head to toe. Yeah, I'll be working with my longtime stylist, Joe Jin, who styled me for the previous 3 or 4 Juno Awards that I went to. Since I was lucky to win in 2019, she and I have been working together. And so she's definitely going to style both Ben and I, and possibly our son, who's 15, Josh. He's coming along as well. And we're already getting invitations to parties. It's a very busy and exciting time. And I just feel super honored to get to represent Canada on the red carpet and elsewhere.
Well, we certainly are very, very proud of you. Best of luck to you. And thanks for speaking with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on the show.
All right, take care. And Laila Biali's new Grammy-nominated album is Wintersongs.